Hi everybody! So last week I asked you guys which tutorial you guys want to see next after Blue Hour, and this was not a surprise to me at all. Twice's I Can't Stop Me won! I probably should have done this song last week because the results ended up changing for this song to win both last week and last week. But I basically said why I didn't want to do this song for last week's tutorial in my Blue Hour tutorial. If you want to check it out, it's in the cards somewhere. But yeah, we're gonna be learning Twice's I Can't Stop Me based off of the cover that I did. So if you want to have it as a reference source for all of these strumming patterns that we're gonna go over today, it'll be up in the cards as well as in the description. And also, I think I'm gonna be using tutorials as an excuse to put on makeup based on the makeup in the specific era of the song that we're learning, or the song titles, just makeup inspo and stuff. But today I did a recreation of Taeyoung's makeup, one of the looks that she had during promotions for this song. I'll leave the picture right here. I like the vibes. So yeah, expect me to talk about my makeup every tutorial from now on. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say for this intro. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started with I Can't Stop Me. Let's get out our ukuleles and first start off with tuning. So for this song, you can either use a capo and put it on the first fret, or you can tune your strings up 1/2 step. So instead of being G, C, E, A, your strings will be tuned up 1/2 step. So G would end up being G sharp, C would end up being C sharp, E would be F, and then A would be A sharp and B flat. The notes should sound like this individually, and then all together they should sound like this. Also, even though we have our strings tuned up 1/2 step, I'm going to be referring to them as if they were in standard tuning throughout the entire tutorial, just because it's easier to say G, C, E, A instead of G sharp, C sharp, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And so now that we have our strings tuned, or if you have a capo, that's totally fine too, we're going to now head into learning the chords. So for this song, you only need to know 5 chords. Technically, you only need to know 4, but it's a cycle of 5 chords. So the first chord that we're going to learn is A minor, which is... You can use any finger, but I'm going to use second finger, as long as it's just on the second fret of the G string. And then C, E, and A are all open, so the whole chord itself should sound like this. And then after A minor, you're going to play G, which is open on the G string, first finger on the second fret of the C string, third finger on the third fret of the E string, and then second finger on the second fret of the A string. So all together, it should sound like this. And then after G, you're going to play D minor, which is second finger on the second fret of the G string, third finger on the second fret of the C string, first finger on the first fret of the E string, and then open on the A string. So all together, it should sound like this. And then after D minor, you're going to play F, which is second finger on the second fret of the G string, open on the C string, first finger on the first fret of the E string, and then open on the A string. So all together it should sound like this. And then after F, you're going to play G again, which was. And so after G, you're going to go back to A minor, and then play G, and then D minor, F, and then G again. And then you're going to repeat that cycle for the entire song, and those are all the chords that you need to know in order to play I Can't Stop Me. And now we're going to head into the strumming patterns. So for the intro of the cover that I did, there's the synth part where it's do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do. That part, I didn't do that on the ukulele, so we're not going to learn those specific notes today. If you want to learn them, I can just leave them up here. I didn't learn them, so I don't think I would be able to teach you them, so just feel free to learn the notes however you like. But yeah, we're just going to go over the instrumental part of the intro. So for this part, all you need to do is strum down in what I like to call a syncopated rhythm. So for this song, when you're counting in this song, usually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But for this part in the intro, when we're strumming down, since we're doing it in a syncopated rhythm, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And since we want to make the intro energetic, instead of just strumming down 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, you're going to strum down and then mute your strings every time you strum. So by muting your strings, all you need to do is take the palm of your hand, right here, and then just lay it against your ukulele strings so that you're blocking out any sound from coming out of the ukulele. So if I were to go over it without any chords, it should sound like this. And I'm going to count as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then with chords, it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. And then we're going to transition after that like one that we played into the first verse. The first verse and the chorus of the song both have the same exact strumming pattern, and since like the chorus is the majority of the song, I'm going to refer to this as the majority strumming pattern. And basically all you need to do is just strum down, slap, strum down, up, slap. Without any chords, the strumming pattern itself should sound like this. And with chords, the majority strumming pattern should sound like this. I'm going to cover the chorus later in the tutorial, but for now I'm just going to play the majority strumming pattern with the first verse melody so that you get a feel of how the strumming pattern sounds with like the song in context. And with the chords and melody of the first verse, the majority strumming pattern should sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 알람이 울려대 ring, ring, 서로의 눈길이 닿을 때마다 알면서 빙빙 도는데 점점 다가가잖아. I know it's too late. And then after that, we're going to head into the pre-chorus. So for the pre-chorus, you're going to play this at a slower tempo than what we originally had played strumming patterns at. So for this part, all you need to do is basically just strum down, strum up, slap, and then strum down and mute your strings. And then repeat that until we get to the last few lines of the pre-chorus, where you're just going to strum down, and then strum down and mute your strings. And then mute your strings also here on the frets with your left hand, and then just strum down twice. So it does sound a little weird when I do it like that, but when we put it in context, it'll make more sense. Let's first start off by going over the pre-chorus strumming pattern without any chords and just like the strumming pattern itself. So this is what it should sound like. And then let's add in the chords without any melody, so it should sound like this. And then with chords and melody, the pre-chorus should sound like this. 마음속으로 난 다 알고 있잖아. 결국에는 손을 넘게 될 거라는 걸. I'm warning to myself. 너 그러면 안 돼. 매번 맺혀 내 맘이 내 맘을 추월해. Out of control. And then after that, you're gonna head into the chorus. So for the chorus strumming pattern, you're basically gonna do the exact same thing that we did when we were covering the first verse, since the first verse and chorus have the exact same strumming pattern, which I've called the majority strumming pattern. And so for this part, the only exception is after the last I Can't Stop Me, before like Dewey does her like part, you're going to, instead of just strumming down, slap, down, up, slap, basically like what we were doing earlier, you're going to like transition into this part by strumming the last chord down and then muting your strings, and then muting your strings on the frets as well with your left hand, and then strumming down twice or tapping twice. That's basically the only difference between the first verse and the chorus, but other than that, they follow the exact same strumming pattern. So in context, to make it like make a little bit more sense, the strumming pattern for the chorus with chords and melody will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 나를 감시하는 저 spotlight 비칠수록 어둠 속으로 빨려들어 빛을 보이는데 I know it's not right. I can't stop me, whoa, whoa. 내 앞에 놓여진 이 red line 건너편에 너와는 힘이 눈을 맞춰 느끼고 싶어 짜릿한 highlight. I can't stop me, whoa, 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 And then basically we're now going to go into the second verse. So for the second verse, you're going to start off by strumming down. And what I like to call this is like letting the chord ring out. Like whenever you strum down and take your hand off the ukulele, you can kind of hear like little vibrations in the air. So it's like letting the chord like ring out into the air. And then after that, there's like parts in this section. You're going to do like a quick strum down like how we did earlier, where you're like just strumming down and muting your strings for each So it would basically sound like this. Da, 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 da. And then after you do the first ahs, you can tap twice, 1, 2, or strum down twice, 1, 2, while having your strings muted with your left hand. And then you're going to transition into the majority strumming pattern, which we covered earlier in the first part of the video. So to put it into like actual context, it should sound like this. chords and melody, the whole entire second verse should sound like this. 눈 감아 달라고 야야 딱 한 번만 no rules 아 모른 척 해줘 lights off tonight 나 참을 수 없을 것 같아 losing myself. And then you're gonna flow into the pre-chorus like how we did earlier. And then after the pre-chorus, you're gonna head into the chorus, and then you're gonna head into the rap part. And the chorus and rap part use the same exact strumming pattern, so it's just basically strum down, slap, down, up, slap. And then after you finish the rap part, you're going to get into the bridge. So the bridge section of the song is the one where like Mina starts off with like nanan wananande, like that part. So basically all you need to do is just strum down on each chord and let the chord ring out like how we did in the first part of the second verse. So with chords, the bridge strumming pattern should just sound like this. And then F is played normally, but when you get to G, you want to make it like really impactful since we like reached basically the climax of the song. So what I would recommend is just strumming down like a lot stronger than you had like originally. So for G, you can strum down like that to give it like a bigger impact. That way when you head into the chorus, it feels like the final chorus. And so with chords and melody, the strumming pattern for the bridge part minus rap should sound like this. 나는 원한대 원하는 게 안 돼 guilty 난 싫은데 I can't stop me, can't stop me, can't stop me. And then you head into the final chorus of the song. That basically follows the majority strumming pattern, so you can just refer back to the part where I sung and played the chorus if you want to play along to that part again. And now the last part that we need to cover in terms of strumming patterns is the outro. So the outro is basically a little bit more like softer and like subdued. So all you need to do is just pluck all strings. So you're going to take your thumb, index finger, middle finger, and ring finger on each string of the ukulele and then just pluck all at once. After you pluck all strings twice, like 1, 2, and then pluck the E string, C string, E string, individually, like so. And then you're going to repeat that pattern until you get to the end of the song. Without any chords, the strumming pattern itself should sound like this at tempo. And then with chords, it should sound like this. With chords and melody, the outro of I Can't Stop Me sounds like this. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know in order to play, I guess, my cover, but like in general, I Can't Stop Me by Twice. I also have a new poll up on my community page for next week's tutorial. I basically compiled every request that I've gotten over the past few weeks since I started doing the polls for tutorials on my community tab page. So feel free to go there to vote for next week's tutorial. They are all songs, except for I Use Celebrity, that I haven't covered yet. So they're not going to follow the standard like format of the usual tutorials that I do, like for example this one, but feel free to vote nonetheless. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe, feel free to subscribe. But if you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I love you guys a whole ton, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!